Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheyenne, and on this channel I like to talk about tech, media, society, and culture. And the reason I talk about those things is because I did an undergraduate degree in communication studies, and a couple of years ago I did a video on entry-level jobs that you can get after a comms degree, and I kind of want to do a follow-up video now on AI-proof digital marketing jobs. So in my past video, I talked about like all of the types of jobs you can do. So this video is just gonna be digital marketing jobs. And I'm gonna focus on how AI is gonna change those jobs, because like AI kind of burst onto the scene late last year. And now we're still dealing with the ramifications of what AI means for digital marketing jobs. I think it's premature to say that like those jobs no longer exist today. But I think that like you need to future prep yourself if you want to get into digital marketing, because the field is changing very fast and AI will remove some parts of jobs, if not entire jobs. So if you're coming out of school with a comms degree, or if you just want to get into marketing, it's important to know that like every company needs marketing, right? Like marketing's not a field that's going to go away. If you're selling a product or service to somebody, to a consumer or potential customer, you need to do it through marketing. Even if you're not selling something, if you're a nonprofit, like you were asking for fundraising, for donors, like that includes marketing as well. So marketing will continue to exist, just how we go about marketing is what's changing. So over the years, marketing has kind of changed in its methods. I would say like right now, marketing is very relational. So it's about presenting the product or service to the customer in a way that like builds a relationship with that customer so they keep coming back for more products and services. It's very relational based, it's very authentic and relevant focused. So all of the marketing jobs now and in the future will be based on creating content that will attract the right customer so that you actually get the desired action, which is probably a purchase. So let's talk about AI and why everyone's afraid of it. Obviously, AI stands for artificial intelligence, and the reason we call it intelligent is because of its ability to predict outcomes. So AI is really just like a new way of amassing a lot of data and then putting it through an algorithm that can then output a prediction. And ChatGPT isn't the first instance of AI. Like when you're using your maps to find the quickest location to your destination, that's AI technology. Spotify or Netflix recommendations, those are AI technologies. We're talking to a chatbot for like service help, and it's like predicting your problem, that's AI technology. So AI is right now, for now, we don't know how it's going to develop into the future, but AI right now is about predictions. And so when you take all this information, instead of like a human going through these massive data sets and like trying to find patterns in the information and predict the next outcome, the computer can do it a lot faster. And that means that it can enhance the productivity of like human work. So marketers have been playing around with what AI can do and how it can help them in their professions. And basically like it can do a lot of the work that marketers do, right? So if you ask it for blog titles, it can give you blog titles. It can give you like an outline, the research, or like write you an entire blog post. It can do SEO research for you. It can write you scripts for social media, like TikTok scripts, YouTube script, podcast scripts. It can write social media captions for you. It can do advertising personas. Like a lot of the work that humans do for marketing to get to the final output of like your marketing campaign, AI can do. So it's a little disheartening to know that a computer can do like what you've been training yourself to do for so many years. And then there's also the concern of like, will the employer just have a computer do marketing activities instead of hiring humans? Now let's get into the digital marketing jobs that I feel like might be at risk because of AI. When I say at risk, I don't mean that these jobs will no longer exist and just be wiped off the face of the earth. I just feel like maybe departments will not hire as many people because of the productivity tools that AI promises. So what I'm gonna do is go through each of the roles, talk about their responsibilities, talk about where AI can like do those responsibilities, and then talk about the parts of the job that AI cannot do and how to like focus your career on those parts to kind of like future-proof yourself. So the first role is social media coordinator. This is like a very popular job to get out of school. This is my first job out of school. A social media coordinator is responsible for creating that social media content that will build awareness and interest in the target customer and also have that customer respond to the call to action. Some of the responsibilities of a social media coordinator includes like building a social media strategy, and that involves looking at the business goals and deciding which social media channel is the right channel to be on to attract the right customers. So all of the social media networks have their niche of what they're really good at, right? Like LinkedIn is very different from Snapchat, from Instagram, from Facebook, and from TikTok. So based on your business, based on the customers that your business is trying to target, which social media channel is the best option for your business. Once you pick your channel, then the next step is deciding how to create the right content to make sure your target audience responds and sees it. So it's very important in social media marketing to be authentic and relevant. People don't want to see corporate messaging. They don't want to see like salesy kind of language. They want to relate to the brand. Like I talked about marketing being relational, and social media content is like the epicenter of that, where you really want to act like almost a person, like the brand is a person that the customers can relate to. After you create all the content, the social media coordinator can also be responsible for your posting schedule. And this is about posting at the right times when your audiences are online and posting consistently so the algorithm pushes your content. And after you do all of this, you're also responsible for looking at the analytics of your social media posts. And you're not just looking at analytics because they exist, like you're using it to change and adapt your social media strategy to make it more relevant and more accurate and increase your ROI. So the parts of a social media coordinator job that can be taken over by AI would be like the entire strategy social media posting part. Obviously, like we don't have an AI yet that can just like post for you. We can schedule posts. We don't have AIs yet that can like look at analytics and make recommendations per se, but ChatGPT can definitely like write social media captions. DALL-E 2 can come up with the images, and like that part is at risk. So just because an AI can come up with a strategy, the images and the social media captions, it doesn't mean that it's a quality campaign. And this is what I mean when I say that the jobs are not going to disappear. Like we still need humans to create like human content that will actually be engaging and not create generic content that only a robot can appreciate. So my advice for future-proofing social media coordinator jobs would be to focus on the analytics side of it. There's not really an AI that exists yet that can look at analytics and decide how to tweak campaigns. And like you really want to bring that to an employer to be like, yeah, like you can, sure, if you want to use ChatGPT, you can use it for your social media marketing, but like when that doesn't work, what are you gonna do afterwards? If every company is using ChatGPT for a social media marketing campaign, everyone's gonna be using the same content, and it's not gonna be original, it's not gonna be engaging. And so you wanna present yourself as that person that knows how to create original and engaging content that will get customers to respond in the way that meets the business goals. So the next digital marketing job that I think might be at risk because of AI is an SEO specialist. So the technical side is about how to set up the website code and pages to be crawled properly by Google's bots. The non-technical side would be like writing the content with the proper keywords to make sure that it ranks on Google's algorithm. So the thing about being an SEO specialist is that your job kind of revolves around Google. That's kind of the main search engine that people use in North America. And for a long time, it's been like the primary way that people will enter the internet, if you want to think about it that way. But Google's also facing its own problems with ChatGPT and social media in general. If you're looking for a quick answer, ChatGPT might get it to you faster than like typing it in Google and having to read through like 10 blue links to find the answer to your question. And then there's also the fact that like younger people tend to use Instagram and TikTok search to answer their questions more than they'll use Google. This is a real concern for Google because their business model is essentially getting people onto the search engine and serving them ads. So if people aren't even coming to Google to begin with, if they're just going straight to ChatGPT or they're going straight to TikTok and Instagram, they're completely outside of Google's ecosystem and Google's not able to serve them ads at all. So Google itself is kind of changing how it does search to kind of like address these problems. And with all of this change that Google's going through, it's going to be really, really hard for SEO specialists to like keep up with what Google now wants content to look like in order to rank on their systems. So for an SEO specialist, I want to say that AI is like attacking you from both sides. Like on one side, it can do the SEO research and it can write the content for you. Again, it might not be great content, but it could do it. And on the other side, it's like changing the platforms that you are trying to put content on. And so now you have to like readapt how you even create the content for a changing platform, and that can be very difficult to do. So my advice to an SEO specialist or someone who wants to get into SEO or SEM would be to maybe not. Or if you're really focused on indexing and ranking, then like maybe learn more about how AI chatbots work, because there is a growing field of like being an AI prompt writer and how to like write prompts in a way that gets the best response out of an AI. And that's kind of like the newer version of SEO specialist, right? Like instead of writing for Google and ranking on Google, you're writing for AIs and getting the best out of AIs. So the next job that I want to talk about that I think might be at risk because of AI would be a digital marketing specialist. So this role is a lot broader than a social media coordinator in the sense that like you're doing everything that's digital, and that can include social media, that can include SEO and SEM, it includes your website, it includes your blog on your website, and also can include content creation like podcasts and webinars. So it's a very broad role. How much you do will be based on your business needs. Also, if you work in a smaller company, you might be wearing multiple hats in terms of like creating content for multiple channels, whereas probably in a larger company, you might be more specific to a particular channel. So some of the responsibilities for a digital marketing specialist would be, again, coming up with a strategy. So out of all of the types of digital marketing that you can do, which one is best for meeting the business goals? After you determine the best channels, you come up with the strategy and the content creation that needs to happen to get your message out on those channels. And then again, looking at the analytics of how customers respond to the marketing that you send out. So this is really like a jack of all trades role. Like you really have to understand how each of those types of marketing initiatives operate, create content specific to each of those initiatives, and then wrap it all up in a cohesive strategy that disseminates a consistent brand image across the entire internet. Like it's a really big job. Again, depending on the type of company that you work in, like if you're in a smaller company, you might be involved in the strategy and coming up with it. If you're in a larger company, you might just be executing the strategy and not necessarily have an input on how the strategy comes about. So again, AI can take over a lot of parts of this role in the sense that it can write the blog posts, write the scripts for the podcasts and the webinars, it can write the social media captions, it can come up with the keywords that you need for your search engine marketing. So a company might decide that they don't need to hire as many digital marketing specialists. They can just use ChatGPT or other AI services to create that content. So my recommendation to someone that wants to get into digital marketing in a digital marketing specialist role would be to, again, focus on the data analytics. You don't want to just be known as the person that creates the content, that writes the social media posts or writes the blog posts. Like you want to be known to like be that person that had a really great idea of like tweaking a campaign, and then that tweak led to XYZ results. Ultimately, businesses just care about making money. So if you can connect your data analytics and your campaign tweaking to direct like financial results, that's gonna be more valuable to the company. So another job that I think is like very, very directly affected by AI is content marketing. So as a content marketer, your sole job is to create the content that will be distributed across the internet, that will attract the target customer of the business and hopefully lead to like building awareness of the company, lead generations, or sales. So as a content marketer, you can be writing scripts for podcasts, for webinars, creating blog posts, creating website content, product descriptions, writing email campaigns. All of these types of contents are written by somebody, and the content marketer is responsible for that. Depending on the company that you're in, you might not be so involved in like strategy conversations. You might be like solely focused on content marketing, or companies might hire you assuming that you will come up with a strategy and then also write the content. The reason I say that content marketing is at risk from AI is because AI can directly write all of the content that a content marketer would be responsible for. Again, would the content that an AI write be very good? Probably not. Honestly, I think nowadays a content marketer could use AI to like help them generate ideas for what they need to write and give them like a little bit of a jump start. But I also wonder if like as a content marketer, if you're constantly going to AI to generate ideas, are you not then training the AI to be better at your job? You know, like these systems are only gonna get better the more that people use them. And if they're really dry and generic right now, it's not gonna be long before they have more content or the algorithm is trained on a bigger data set that involves and identifies emotion or brand tone or intent. So I feel like there's a distinction between social media content creation and then being a content marketer. For me, that distinction is about how visual the content is that you're creating. So social media is obviously very visual. If you're a social media coordinator working for a company with a very, very strong brand, they might not be willing to turn to an AI to generate images for them because they have a very particular way of how they want their brand to be represented. And that works good for you as a social media marketer because you know that like your job is kind of protected in that sense as long as you're able to recreate their brand essence. For a content marketer, if you're creating content that's not really visual, content that like primarily needs to be read by a computer to then be able to be promoted to the target audience, that's a little more generic, and that I feel like is more capable of being taken over by an AI when they do get better. The last job that I want to talk about that I think will be affected by AI is email marketers. So being in email marketing, I feel like from the jump, you're already balancing like content creation and data analytics, especially because emails are very short. You can pump them out a lot faster than like blog posts, webinars, or podcasts. And I want to say that the like email marketing industry has sort of developed from just like sending out consistent emails to like creating tailored email journeys for customers. So when you're in email marketing, you obviously want to create content that is engaging for the customer, that makes them want to stay in your email list, but also not send them too many emails to the point where like they get disgusted with your company and they just unsubscribe. And in email marketing, there's a lot of A/B testing. You're looking at your open rate, you're looking at how many people open the email, go through it, and click and go further into their journeys versus how many people like don't respond to the emails versus how many people only respond like during seasonal times, all of those different scenarios. So where AI comes in is that AIs can write emails. They can write the subject line and they can write the body of the email. I think what AI can't do yet is creating that journey. So I think if you're talking about future-proofing your job as an email marketer, like maybe you use AI to like pump out more emails, but then you focus your skills on developing that customer journey. And then again, aligning the customer journey to the business goals to really show that like your email marketing is generating additional sales for the company. So before I wrap up, I just want to talk a little bit more about AI. I think it's important to note that this is like very early stages of the possibilities of AI. It's not even been a year since OpenAI released ChatGPT. The use cases of the software have not been fleshed out entirely. And I think there's just a lot of like excitement and like fear about technology in general. Like throughout modern history, humans have always been fearful of new technology. But I think it's important to note that like in the long run, there's always been more jobs created after a new technology has been introduced into society. So the job that you might be interested in today might not exist in the future, or it just might be very different in the future. But like there will be more jobs that relate to AI than there are jobs that are taken away because of AI. And if you are a marketer that's like currently using AI in their job and they love it, just be mindful of the fact that like AIs hallucinate a lot. Like I think ChatGPT was trained on 2021 data. So anything that's happened since 2021, it literally doesn't know about. And if you try to talk to it about something of recent events, it will literally tell you that you're lying.
Yikes.
So I feel like right now, like today, digital marketing jobs aren't necessarily being threatened by AI. If anything, the AI that exists right now can serve as like a productivity tool to marketers where it can help them generate ideas, help them get over writer's block, help them pump out more content. I think there's still a lot of work for marketers to do with AI in terms of like changing the content that an AI generates to make it more relevant and accurate for that target market. And I think that businesses will eventually realize that like, you know, you have to train an AI specific to your business if you want it to generate results that'll actually lead to sales. You can't use a generic AI, apply it to your business, and then hope for like personalized content to come out on the other side. It doesn't work that way. So for me, when I look at the future of marketing, I think that marketers will spend a lot of time training AIs to be specific to a company and then to generate content and marketing that will resonate with the company's target consumer. So what that means for marketers today is to not be afraid of AI. I think it's important for us to like learn how AI works, how it thinks. I think it's safe to say that AI will be like the internet, the way that no one thought the internet would like come into people's homes, come into businesses, be in our pockets every day of our lives. I think AI will grow to be a part of like our daily decision making. And I feel like if we understand it now, we can then like tailor it and tweak it to better suit us in the future. So that's my take on how I feel like AI is going to affect digital marketing jobs in the future. I hope this was very helpful for you. If you have any questions about digital marketing jobs, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will try to respond to all of my comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.